What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Repaint's favorite nerd. Today we are looking at Transformers Combiner Wars Protectobot Blades, and he is a repaint of Alpha Bravo, maybe and a new head. I was excited to take a look at this guy because so many people were telling me that from Wave 1 I really should have checked out Alpha Bravo, that he was fantastic and blah blah blah, and shame on you, I couldn't disagree more. So let's take a look at him. He comes with two accessories, the hand, foot, ordeal, which we already know what time it is with this. It's just sort of lackluster across the board. The Gatling guns are nice. It'd have been nicer if they were painted, but that's what this is, and it comes with it. And then it comes with a gun, which is a single cast, decent amount of detail, hollow as my mother's soul, and whatever. And then we have the figure. And I have tons and tons and tons of issues with it. Hold on, let me get my dog out of the way. Go lay down. It's the baddest dog ever. You remember he stole the plate in that video? Anyway, here we go. Let's talk about articulation real quick. Head is on a ball joint with a really good range of motion on it. Really fantastic. Shoulders are on a ball peg. Nothing to hinder it, so that's fine, I guess. Not a lick of paint on it. Bicep swivel at the elbow. Elbow's on that soft ratcheting thing that we've seen before. On a single pin. We got silver paint here, and it's just kind of like, paint it off. We're going to take it out a whole new door. And then the other side is identical. The paint on the face is all mucked up. They've barely got the sides of the face painted on mine, nor around the eyes, nor around it bleeds over into the chin space. It's really quite sloppy, and so is the edges of the silver on the chest, as is the silver right there on the abdomen. If you can see, it's lopsided on mine. It may not bother some people, it bothers me. I'm a paint freak, so it bothers me. If it doesn't bother you, well then, cheers. And waist is on a swivel. Mine gets caught up on something because this plastic isn't flush, which is an issue I have across the board in a lot of ways. I've all but broken this thing. Actually, I have broken it, so we'll talk about why it broke and how it broke. Mainly it's due to tolerances. The pelvis piece itself is a single cast, gray plastic. Ball jointed hips, thigh swivel. Oh, let's fix this. Knee is on a hinge. It gets you 90 degrees. Yeah. And then not a lick of paint up in there. We got this paint stripe there, which is fine. Rescue tampered on there, which is also fine. Foot tilt. No rocker, so that's fairly unfortunate as well, but seems to be more often than not par for the course. The back is a nightmare. I think it is unsightly. I almost think I like putting the blades out to the front of the body, like that, and just having these like things come out of the front of it. Like I know that's not ideal. But I think that looks so much better that it's hard for me not to put it that way. This all cleans up fairly nicely. So, yeah, kind of not the best Hasbro figure I've looked at in the more. We also have this bigger gap in there, which I'm not a fan of. I like it when it sits a little bit more flush between the combiner port and the bottom. Now, people say you're being too nitpicky. You're being too you're too needy, but like that's a simple thing. This paint stuff is simple things. If I was being picky, trust me, I could, but I'm not. I'm talking about big things. I don't know why they can't paint it properly. I don't understand that. I don't know why they can't make this more like the rest of the aerial bots. I don't know why I should have to not. I don't know why I should expect for them to put two pieces of plastic here and have this not be flush so that it gets jammed up on that. Like, I don't understand why I should have to deal with that. It's not being picky, okay? It's just being a consumer. I'm not asking for miracles with a $15 toy, but I am asking that it works properly, and this doesn't. And I'll tell you another reason why. The tolerances are too tight in a lot of places, which has, and some of that is also because, once again, this isn't molded properly down there. If you can see, it's not a perfect rectangle, so that gets caught up where that plugs in. Let's see, there's other ones. Same on this side. This is a nightmare. As you can see, I've broken mine here because the tolerance is just too tight. And trying to get this unpegged up here, I have put so much stress on this that I've put significant stress marks there and bent the plastic there as well. It's just a wash to me. It's just poorly made. So it wouldn't be a transformer if it didn't transform. So let's transform them. Head to the back. This piece double hinges up and then closes down. I'll try not to have that last piece of plastic break off because I will glue it because I'll be displaying these guys in robot mode. We'll bring the arms down. Well, I guess we'll get the legs situated first. So they combine like all the rest because we don't want to pay for new engineering, and that is fine to me. You know, like it's not ideal. We'll rotate the hips as well, but it's fine because of the price point that we're talking about. That notch is in there. And then this peg's in there. Sorry, I know that whenever I give Hasbro figures a hard time that the internet police jump to its defense. So I just want to start making my case in point now. That rotates around, and then this peg's together. Okay, same on this side. So, you know, reutilizing the same engineering and so forth, like I'm okay with that. That's a good way to cut corners. Not having things toleranced properly, you can see that right there on mine is a stress mark, and that's from poor tolerance. And then there, and here, and there. Make sure that's all nice and tight. We'll just straighten the arms out and plug those in. Those work fine because it's the simplest thing going on with this. Bring this down, which is supposed to kind of tab in, but mine it really doesn't. It just sort of sits in its hole. So another tolerance issue. Straighten the blades out, and there you have him. The helicopter mode looks really good. Like it's a good looking helicopter. Like the paint on the stripe here is actually quite clean in comparison to the rest of the paint, and so is the tampering there with the Autobot Coastal Rescue and all that kind of stuff. Really nicely done. My problem with this is not so much the design, well, it's not so much in the execution of how they did this, but more so with the design. I think that this doesn't look like Blades at all. It doesn't make me feel Blades character or representation one bit. Now one might argue that, well, this is how he looks in the comics, and I'm here to tell you this is how he looks in the comics because this is how he was going to look on the toy. If you can't see that happening from a mile away, I don't know what else to tell you. So here's the gun, and that can plug in here to the side, which, you know, throws symmetry off, and I'm a sucker for symmetry, so, but that's more of a personal issue perhaps. And then you can plug that foot thing in there, and it makes sort of a helicopter stand, and that I think is really cool. That I think is a nice touch. It's a nice way to utilize that piece. So I suppose let's do limb modes, and we'll just take that out, and I think it's just for foot. It's just more or less like this. I haven't actually looked at the instructions, so it may not be. So, this piece will work fine now because it's broken. So no need to worry about that now. Plug that up in there, and then twist that around, and you have the foot, more or less. I'm not going to put too much strain on that because I don't want to break mine. But yeah, it's okay. I guess it'll do just fine. We'll see when we get hotspot. And then arm mode isn't too much of a departure either. We just put that down, and then we can bring this up. I believe if you're not supposed to bring it up, just as a heads up. Like, I would prefer it up. I think that'll make it look more visually interesting. We'll pull the arms out so that we can get these pieces unpegged here if we can. And that's me just trying to find a way to separate these. Because the tolerance, now you see how far I got it there. And I'm being rough because I am frustrated. I am upset. I don't particularly care to have my money wasted. You know, I haven't had this particular sort of an issue with the Hasbro product in quite some time. Actually, if ever. You know, usually it's not tolerance issues. You know, it's other things. But this one I'm having a lot of tolerance issues with. So we'll just transform it. We'll just parts form it. And maybe I got a lemon, you know, which is quite possible. Like I have bad luck in general, so it's quite possible that I got a lemon. Okay, now that goes there. Then we want to tab these together, and then I'm not sure what you do with that. Maybe you keep it out. Or I guess you spin this around. Yeah, my leg just popped off there because it gets caught up on this piece that's not molded equally. So it's like flash hanging off of it. So that's why that got hung up. So there, plug these back together. We'll just kind of put that there. And I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Close enough. And then we'll put our foot hand on there. And there you have it. Enjoy. So there he is with his two other guys that we've looked at, and I must say that Rook is still the cream of the crop here, but he doesn't look as good with the other two, but that might be me looking through nostalgic goggles, as Scott used to say. Final thoughts, mine is just plagued by QC issues. It's plagued by tolerance issues, poor paint, tons of flash in the molding, and as a result, my enjoyment of it severely suffers. The only other issue that I really have with it is that I don't feel like the helicopter is very representative of the character, but you know, repaints and so forth. Speaking of repaints, I swear to God, like repaints, especially when they're shoehorned in, like they could have sold the repaint of Slingshot with the first set, and I would have been a happy camper. But they didn't, because who was going to buy a repaint of this as Alpha Bravo if you already had Slingshot? And that's the stuff that drives me up the wall.
It's just repaints, man. And it's just more flipping repaints, and it's not even effective. It just makes me so angry. It's just makes me.
What's wrong with that? Is he gonna be okay?
Just repaint range. Let's go to our safe place.
Shout out to Manny Garcia. He sent me that mask, and I had this kit in mind from the moment I saw it. So shout out to you, brother. Good looking out. Yeah, but back to this guy. He, you know, I just don't have a lot of positive to say about him. I'm happy that you have a representation of the character. He's going to be in robot mode more than likely. We'll see, unless Defensor blows my mind. On my shelf, and you know I'll hide him behind First Aid and the others. But you know, it's hard for me to tell you a positive of this guy. I don't think that much is done well. I think the paint in the tamper and so forth is really sharp in the helicopter mode. I always try to say something positive at the end, you know, and that's unfortunately that's all I got for him. Streetwise is next, and I like him a lot more in terms of the Protectobot line, and then we'll take a look at Hotspot when he gets in and carry on. But you know, real quick before we get out of here, like you know, there's going to be people, like I've been doing this long enough now to know, there's going to be people like you always trash Hasbro stuff. Why do you continue to buy it and look at it and all? And the truth is, I don't always trash Hasbro stuff. It's for some reason it's really burning up some people's feelings when I do. You know, I praised Dead End. I praised Silverbolt in a lot of ways. Brainstorm was on my top, most surprisingly good figures of 2014. I love Springer. There's a lot of Hasbro toys that I thoroughly enjoy. It just so happens that this is not one, and some of the other ones haven't been them either. And that's okay. I personally want to have an opinion on these figures, and I don't feel like my opinion would be valid unless I bought them and messed with them. And now that I have, I feel like my opinion is more valid. Would you have appreciated my opinion on these guys had I not even looked at them? Things that make you go, Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.